night because our daughter is just having one of those nights. It happens. It happens when you have an autistic kid. Just sort of, we call it? We call it munchy. When she's having a tough night, we call it she's munchy, which makes no sense because we have our own words, I guess. Every couple does, to describe things to each other. So she's just being a little bit difficult tonight. She's had a good week. She's in a new day program, our daughter. And autistic at 24, it's an interesting mix. No parent expects to have an autistic kid. Autism is very common these days. Howdy. Oh, Bloomington Thunderwood. Nice to have you back. No one expects to have an autistic kid. It's just one of those things. I mean, it's like the kiss of death when you first hear it. You're going, what? What? Autism? And I knew what it was because I worked with autistic adults in the early 90s as a mental health care worker. And I remember thinking many times, how does anyone do this? It must be difficult. And I worked with a gentleman named Robert, and he stimmed a lot. You'd look at his hands a lot, and he was a handful. But there was something wonderful about him. But I still thought, I don't know how anyone can deal with autism. But we did it. And but tonight she's having a tough night, so Shannon can't make it tonight. Anyway, thank you for whoever liked our video here at the very beginning. I've just been doing yard work outside, digging out. Are you autistic? Hey, Chris. Once you get around and to understanding either Asperger's, or in England they call it Asperger's, or autism, or anyone in the spectrum, you see the gold in it. But in the beginning, it's hard to understand. Imagine how they're feeling, right? So we've gone through a long journey of this together. But tonight, Danica it's hard on Shani. Hi, Irene. How are you? It's been a really, really tough day on Shannon as being an autistic mother, because Danica is OCD and she's on her a lot. She doesn't do this to me because she knows that I have limits with that I'll just say, I'm done with that. We have cue cards. It's just been a really rough night with Danica. So Shannon says, you go do Friday Night Live, and we'll deal with it in our own way. By the way, we have some interviews coming up in the next little while. Joseph Williams, David Page, Fee Waybill. I just found out Fee Waybill's real name is John. I was on with him yesterday, and it came up as John Waybill. I went, what? John Waybill? And the first thing I asked him, I says, your name's John? He says, well, yeah. I'm going, I didn't know that. What kind of a research guy am I? Anyway, Fee and I talked for an hour and a half. And man, he's an interesting guy. Whoa. I could hang out with Fee Waybill every day. He's just a really cool guy. Told me interesting journeys they had with the tubes. Why he left the tubes in the beginning. A lot of, David Foster talk about what happened with David Foster and why there wasn't a third David Foster produced Tubes album. Talked about him leaving, the crazy antics of the Tubes in the beginning. We talked about Ree, who just recently passed away, used to be in the band. She didn't like touring in the long run. She just wanted to be home. And David Page and I talked about, we went way back to Cher. We talked about working with Neil Diamond and on the Serenade album, which is probably my favorite Neil Diamond album. So we covered a lot of real estate and it's been really good. So excuse me, I'm tired today. I don't want to yawn for you, but it's been a really long day. Our son got himself his first car this week, and we went to another province to go pick it up, even though it was only 50 kilometers. So, Paul Mod, sup, dude? Hope you're doing well. Well, I hope you're doing well. James says hello. Chris, hi, John. I'm autistic. Yeah, I got that one. Thank you. Rick May, greetings from Ohio. Hit the like button. Thank you. for anyone who's watching us who wants to talk about rock and roll or your experiences. Oh, man. I've been going straight for a few hours doing yard work, and then you sit down. I look really tired too. You sit down and you go, whoa, that was a lot. Chris says, greetings from Charleston, West Virginia. Irene, hello, John. Hi, Irene. Bloomington, Thunderwood. My bass player's son is in the Spectrum and a frighteningly great drummer. Chase used to, even though he never said he was, Chase used to play with a guy named Jackson. And we don't know if he was in the Spectrum, but he acted as if he was in the Spectrum. It was hard for him to transition, but we understood that. And Chase would always come up to me and say, I think Jackson's in the Spectrum, because he's not willing to bend at all. It always has to be his idea. And I'm going, well, that doesn't mean he's in the Spectrum. But transitions were difficult for him. Amazing guitarist, really, really good guitarist. One day I told him he couldn't sing, and it was just, and he wasn't a good singer. And it was really, really hard on him because he had in his mind that he could sing. And I don't know why he continued doing this, but he did. And even though Chase has been around autism his entire life, and again, I don't know if Jackson was autistic. I don't know. We were just thinking that at least he acted as if he was in the Spectrum. And then Chase one day told me, so I'm finding it very difficult to work with him. It's just his way or the highway. I think he's treating me like, I'm his drummer. But he was such an interesting guy. He was a nice guy. He worked really, really hard on his craft. But just Chase says we're apples and oranges. I don't want to work with him anymore. So, John Adams, hi, from Connecticut. My ex has Asperger's, very difficult to deal with. That's the thing. Transitions are very, very, very difficult. And I've had some people, there's a friend of mine I graduated with, and once we started being educated, sorry, I'm tired. Once we started becoming educated with Asperger's and the autistic spectrum, we started understanding ways because, again, I mean, man, if it's difficult for you to deal with, can you imagine how difficult it is for them? And understanding the yin and yang of the whole thing is really, really important because you want to communicate with people and it's a little harder, right? So, and I think Chase felt that with his, Bloomington says, coffee, brother. I can't drink coffee. It's 9:15 my time. I could never drink coffee. Bloomington, the Foster era is my favorite for the tubes it is. Don't Want to Wait Anymore. Remember that song? Don't Want to Wait Anymore was a typical David Foster sounding song, even though it wasn't his song. Ultimately, it was brought in by a band member, and David worked on it. Don't Want to Wait Anymore sounds like a Chicago song. It really does. And it's one of my favorite Tube songs. And we talked about it. And we also talked about his Fee Waybill we're talking about. Sorry, I should clear. We also talked about Fee Waybill's collaborations and friendship with Richard Marx. Fee wrote the words to my favorite Richard Marx song, which is It's Too Late to Say Goodbye. Michael Landau on guitar. It's so amazing. Bill Spooner, thank you. Coffee Brother, yeah. JavaScript Serenade, also my favorite album. Didn't know David Page had anything to do with it. I didn't either till a few years ago. And when I found out I had David Page's, because David reached out to me at one point because we did a video for him, and he reached out to me and he thanked me. So then I have David Page's email address. So I got back to him and I said, David, I had no idea till a few years ago that you were on Serenade, and then he only played one song on the next album, Beautiful Noise. He was only on one song, studio album, because he was so busy with Toto and Boss Skaggs. James Bashir, hey James, good evening, John. Greetings from Dogtown Road. How's everyone doing tonight? We're doing okay. I'm falling asleep, not because of you guys. Didn't do anything wrong. I'm just had a long day. Danica's just had a tough day, and that's why Shannon's upstairs with her. Shannon wanted me to do Friday Night Live, and she said, please do it. Chris says, congratulations on your son got his first car. I remember when I drove my mom nuts when I wanted to drive. We all did, I think, didn't we? I mean, yeah. Darren, hey, Darren. Dick Clark's American Bandstand and Britain's Top of the Pops have always lip synced. Yeah, several of Springsteen's music videos have live vocals over pre-existing tracks. Mark says, hi, John. Have you heard the new single, Why Are You Calling Me Now, by the new supergroup Generation Radio? Yes. Great. Isn't it great? Someone was saying when they heard it that it sounded very 80s, and it does, doesn't it? Yeah, I love it. Bloomington, Gary Newman also has Asperger's, or as they say in England, Asperger's. Irene Brophy, you need to go to bed. I know, but I have to do Friday Night Live, right? Jeff Hansen, both of my sons have Asperger's. Structure is very important for them. Yeah, same thing every day. Steve Lukather, his son, Bodie has Asperger's. And the first time I talked to Luke, I've talked to him, I think 5-6 times now, but maybe 3-4 years ago, the first time I talked to him, it came up. I said, sorry, that's my daughter in the background. She has autism. And he says, really? My son Bodie has autism. We started trading stories, and a lot of that interview was wasted in us talking about autism. Now, I say wasted because it was the first time I ever talked to him, and I needed to talk about music with him. Since then, I've included some of that stuff on autism, but sometimes when people aren't touched by it, they don't care. But most people have been touched by autism in one way or the other, or the autistic spectrum on some level. Everyone knows someone with Asperger's, whether they know it or not. It's just there. So we started talking about it, and I told him we had a food program to teach, because he talked about structure. Jeff says, a lot of people in the autistic spectrum can only eat a certain amount of food, certain types of food. A lot of times it's white food. And Bodie, Luke's son, only ate white food. So I told him we didn't discover this food program, but it actually worked for our daughter. Now our daughter basically eats everything. And I said, I'll send it to you. But I think 3 interviews after that, I asked him if he ever used it. And he says, no, I never really did use it because he's busy. But I told him, use it because your son will eat more than just white food. John Booker's Full Spectrum. Hi, from Burnt Corn, Alabama. Yes, it's a real place. Could it be possible some of all the Ramones that were in the spectrum? I think a lot of rock and roll well, David Byrne's in the spectrum, right? Brendan Steele, he said he is. Gene Simmons, to publicize, criticize other artists for lip syncing and be caught with it, very hypocritical. True. Doug the guitarist. Hey, Doug, I wonder what instrument you play. What? Love Chicago when Terry Kath was with them. I know. I remember hearing the news on the radio that, the Russian roulette thing. John Adams. Are the Tubes going to tour again? Yes. I was asking Fee if he's coming close to us. I said, are you coming to Boston? He said, well, we're coming to a place outside of Boston in November. So I'm not sure when the tour starts. If you go into the Tubes official website, it'll be there. Eric D. I mean, obviously, when I put the clips up, I'll know. But we haven't chopped up the interview because I just did it yesterday. Chase does that, my son. He chops up. I can't watch myself on video, so I get Chase to do it. Eric D. Hello, John, from Palm Springs, California. I have been there quite a few times. Hope you are well. Gennaro. Hey, Gennaro. Greetings from the home of Leonard Cohen. Hallelujah. Thank you. Eric says, say, hey, I think he meant hi to Shannon. She's upstairs. She might be watching this upstairs. James, got my first 2 Steely Dan CDs David Page played on the Royal Scam. He did. We talked about that. Darren, Kiss has both lip synced and tongue synced since Gene Simmons' Long Tongue. There you go. Brendan Steele, the new song by David Page is cool. It's really, really nice. Yeah, I love it. I've heard the whole album because they'll send it to me, and they always give you warnings. Do not share this no matter what. And they know I'm a radio guy. I'm going on my 40th year now. And they know I'm a radio guy and I know the rules, but they have to say it. They have to say it, and I don't blame them. I always say, don't worry, I will never send this to anybody, no one, and I never do. Paul, I'm not. Oh, Pow. What's your favorite Jethro Tull album or song? Songs of Wood, Minstrel in the Gallery, The Passion Play. I don't pick Aquilon. I don't pick the big ones. I like. I also like the hare who lost his spectacles. You've seen the video for that? It's crazy. So there you go. What's yours? Chris says, I know a guy with Asperger's. I think we all do. Stefan, what the F is tongue sinking? I don't know either. Gennaro, my son-in-law's sister's son has autism. Oh, okay. JavaScript. Have you heard this band that I found on YouTube? Bagley Cook. Great band. Oh, I'll write that down. Let me write that down. Do I have some paper? Do I have paper? Oh, God. Hold on. Hang in there. What the hell? Hold on. Yeah, I'll write it down. Yeah, I'll write it down. Thank you. Okay. Oh, with an E at the end. Okay. James. My favorite album is Benefit. Quarantine Dragon Fam Tim. Wow. I was just listening to Why Are You Calling Me Now? It does sound like 90s Chicago. To me, it almost sounds like 80s, 90s Chicago. Because they go, whoa, like that kind of thing. That's so big for Toto and Chicago, especially those two bands. I love that. I miss that in songs. I never get sick of that. Brandon Steele. Will you be interviewing David Paich, or will a video be up anytime soon? The album is released. The EP album is released on the 19th of August. Steve Karras, who handles Toto, as well as a few other bands, including the Beaudins, does not want us to release it till the album's released. He'd rather have the hoopla when the album's released or after the album's released. And he's done that with the Toto stuff, and I'm fine with that. I have no problem. Steve's a great promo guy. I really love the guy. So I have to wait till the 19th to release anything. So there you go. Even though I did get David Paich rather, to talk about Jim Seals and his passing. And I might ask for permission to put that up because it's timely, right? Darren says, Darren says, I don't know where my comment came from. I'm being silly. Okay. G-Bomb. Hello, John from Argentina. Hey. How was your interview with Gilbert O'Sullivan? Very nice man. But there's only 4 parts to it. And the last part is coming up, I think, tomorrow. And go into Rock History Book. This is Rock History Music. Go into Rock History Book and you'll hear the whole thing. It's all there. Look up Gilbert O'Sullivan Rock History Book and you'll find it right away. Or go into the channels of if you go into the top buttons, the tabs on this channel, one of them's channels. Click on channels and Rock History Books right there. Fablic. The Stones have been accused of lip syncing yet in the 90s, isn't it? Isn't it from Europe? I don't know. Stefan. I don't mind silly Darren. Roger R. Hi, John. Greetings from the Philippines. Here from the UK to see my Filipino girlfriend. Oh, love the new David Paich song. It's really nice. Darren, to John Adams. The Tubes website shows tour dates starting mid-June. Oh, good. As long as the band isn't going down the tubes. Bada boom. Boomington. Oh, Boogington. Sorry. I'm not paying attention. I'm really sorry about that. I've gotten it wrong all night. Boogington. The Millennium Whoop. It's the official name for the popular vocal move. Michael J. Thomas? You're not my Michael J. Thomas, are you? The guy I worked with in jazz? Just logging on. We just saw Toto in New Orleans a month ago with Journey. Both bands were amazing. Oh, I think my Michael J. Thomas is not Junior, but I know a Michael J. Thomas. Chris Snodgrass. Did you interview the 80s group called Double? I never have, no, even though I played them on the radio, because when I was in jazz and smooth jazz and new age, we played Double quite a bit. Captain of Her Heart. Brandon Steele. Hey, Brandon, David Paich really is a giant and doesn't get the recognition he deserves. At the end of the interview with David, which was an hour, he said, John, anytime you want to do another interview, you let me know, or come through me, because I have his email. Like I said, I have his personal email address. He says, just let me know, or go through Steve. So I contacted Steve after. I said, that was so much fun. And David was really kind. He said, John, thank you for knowing a lot about our music, and thank you for all the stuff you've done. I've watched a lot of your videos, and he said, thank you for, when he got sick and left the tour, I got a lot of fans together and we did a video. Look up Get Well Soon, David Paich, Rock History Music, and you'll find it. All these Toto fans came on and said, that really touched him. And he saw it and he was very appreciative. So he certainly knew my work, and I certainly knew his work. I mean, whose work is really important? It's his work. Okay. Boogington. Sorry about saying your name wrong. Phil would be a great interview. One of those who has heard a million times, didn't know. Oh, yeah, Phil Thornley. Gennaro. Hit the like button. Oh, Gennaro, thank you. Yeah, we have 60 people on, which is quite a bit tonight. And thank you. And please subscribe to our channel. We're this close. We're at 95,000. We're close to going to 100,000. And the amount of interviews we've lined up, Fee Waybill says, he gave me the contact information for Richard Marks, because I said, Fee, I got to interview Richard Marks. I know he's one of your best friends. I've got to get Richard Marks. And he said, just contact this guy and it'll happen. So Richard Marks is a really funny guy. JD, hello, John. How you are early today? No, I'm not early, because it's usually 9 o'clock. It's usually 9 o'clock Atlantic time. Rick, hi, John. I didn't catch you live last week, but I watched the stream. You were wondering why somebody mentioned that they couldn't use Super Chat on iPhone. It's because Apple takes 30% cut from all of their apps. It works if you do it on an iPhone on the website, just not the app. Oh, thank you, Rick. I appreciate that. I had no idea. Well, one of the things we used to do is put on our and we'll do that from now on, where people can just pay, just do a PayPal thing. And and we're this close because it takes so long to get secret cuts and stuff from doing our Patreon account, because the channel really, I mean, we do well with the channel, but we don't do well with the channel. One of the reasons people do Patreon is because it's not a big fat paycheck every month on YouTube. You know, some days you do well, some months you do really well, and other months it's just kind of crazy. Someone asked me last week, did you mean your hair to look like that? Yeah, I mean, I like it like that. So I don't know why I mentioned that. Can you notice I'm getting a lot of sun? I'm a lot darker in here because I've got two roundy lights, one on this side and one on that side, because of my rubbery face. What? Oh, Alan Murphy says it's 1:30 a.m. here in the UK. Well, thank you for joining us. I appreciate that. Okay, hold on. Darren, John, how is it that your camera doesn't film anything backwards in your studio? Oh, it's just a thing. When I'm upstairs with Shannon, I'm using my MacBook. I've just been told that my MacBook doesn't get new. It's too old. It doesn't get new updates. It's not supported by Apple anymore. So people go, oh, you have a MacBook. You must have a lot of money. No, I don't. No, I don't. It's an old MacBook. But thank you for thinking that. So when I use the MacBook, I'm using a software called Restream. And for whatever reason, it's just a button. I've got to figure out the button where it's just, it's backwards. So I won't. I'll fix that before next time. Oh, he works with Kasim Sultan. Kasim Boogington. Kasim Sultan was one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. Really nice guy. Stefan, also in the UK. Yes. Michael J. Thomas Jr. No, not the same guy. You know, but what a great name, right? You're cool. I am waiting all other Zepp fans for anything Page is working on. Yeah, he's slow, man. Mark says, John, why do you think today's movies put so little emphasis on the soundtrack as opposed to the 80s? Well, A, they don't want to pay. Uh, they don't want to pay the big bucks. But I don't know. Ultimately, I don't know why. I don't know. I talked to Kenny Loggins about. I mean, and his old Top Gun song is still on there about that, and he told me that he'd been ripped off by a few soundtracks. Brandon Steele would be interesting to interview Brian Eno. I'd love to interview Brian Eno because that he kind of revolutionized that kind of ambient, music for airports thing. Working with Peter Gabriel, of course. Hike with Mike. Hey, Hike. Hi, folks. Alan Murphy. Did you interview Agnew from Nazareth again? I did, and I'm working on it right now. The problem with Pete is he didn't want to go on camera. And I said, you're not coming on camera? Because he never has. This is my third interview with him. And he said, oh, no one wants to see my old face. I went, okay, sure. But it's going to take us time to put the interview up because we have to put BG music. It's a video. So, and the feed was really clear. And, because he's Scottish, he's a little harder to understand for some people, but I can understand him, because I've known a lot of Irish and Scottish people in my life. So, you get to know the dialect and you understand, right? Everything's a little difficult for someone who hasn't been exposed to whatever that might be. So anyway, we've had to put BG on top of it. And right now I've got a long thing of, I think it's 45 minutes. It might be an hour. I didn't even really check how long it was, of every bit with BG on it. You can see me, but you can't see him. You can see pictures of him. So anyway, we finally got it together. It took so long to do. And it's not against Pete Agnew. He doesn't want to come on camera. I mean, in the future, I would let him do that again because he's Pete Agnew and I have a lot of respect for him. But for any newer artist, we're going to kind of say, what's her name? Oh God, what's her name? Didn't want to, was just doing phoners. Hold on, I'll tell you who it is. And nothing against her either. Hold on. Okay, hold on. I'll look it up. There we go. Yeah, her name is Sass Jordan, the Canadian gal. So Sass Jordan was doing interviews, and I was given an interview, and her publicist says, "Well, she's only doing phoners." And I'm going, "I don't do phoners anymore." And as much as I would love to talk to Sass Jordan, I love her voice. I thought this time I've got so many interviews in the can right now I've got to put out. I decided to pass. And it's nothing against Sass Jordan. Don't get me wrong. I love Sass Jordan. She's great. Look her up if you don't know her. She's an amazing singer. I first heard her on Closer Together by The Box as a background singer. Look up that song. It's so cool. There's not a lot to the song, but it's a cool tune. So I decided I'll pass this time. JD, I am still kind of grieving over the death of Jim Seals. Yeah. I only heard it at the end of your live stream program. Sad news. I've been listening to Seals and Crofts ever since then. Hummingbird just sticks with me. We May Never Pass This Way Again. Get Closer. I just love that stuff, right? And David Page and I talked about Jim Seals because he played with them. Boogington, last question. Have you watched any of the Pistol TV episodes about the Sex Pistols? I have not. Fab, do you know the hard rock band called Samson from England? I do not. Sue Bailey. Hi, John. Just logging on after a 10-hour day cutting the cheese. I Oh, you literally, I work in Murray's Cheese Shop. Where is that? Sue Bailey. Where would that be? Showstopper Rob. Well, John, ever thought of streaming via Discord or Twitch? I have not. I've been told I should. Michael Carley, do you ever speak with Goldie from Steppenwolf? No. I've been reaching out to John Kay, but have not heard back. He just put me on his mailing list. Remember I told you that the other night? The box was great. I love the box. Anyone who doesn't know the box, I mean, Jean-Marc sings with a French accent. But he is this, and their music is amazing. Like keyboard-based 80s rock. Look them up on Spotify. I think they're on Spotify. Should be. Are they on Spotify? Amazing music. Like some of my favorite from the 80s. We have an interview, I think maybe 2 in that room with Jean-Marc. But remember, I've got the reel to reels. I didn't feel like turning it around today. I'm just so tired from doing yard work. What we do, our yard when we bought our house in August of last year was mostly weeds. So I told myself, and there was like a patch this big of grass, and nice grass. And I go, what the hell? And no weeds in that grass. Like this part, like about this big. So I'm cutting around it instead of just getting someone to just to bulldoze the whole thing. My neighbors don't know what the heck I'm doing. Right now I have a patch that goes like this. It looks like Nova Scotia in Canada. And another part that looks like Spain. And I'm going, and I'm seeding it and cutting it out because weeds are long, long roots. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about that. Michael, hi, John. I love your channels. My first time catching you live. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that, Michael. Thank you very much. Stefan, Bruce Dickinson sang with Samson before joining Iron Maiden. Wow. Gennaro, have you interviewed Jim Capaldi? No. I remember playing when I first got into radio, Jim Capaldi, one of his solo albums. Alan Murphy, I like your video on Bon Jovi bassist who passed away. You did leave one thing out, why he left the band. Yeah, I was kind of being diplomatic, but I should have included it in there because it wasn't a good thing what happened to him. There's a lot of stories about why he left. They didn't like his bass playing. The record company didn't like him. He had a lot of issues. Stefan, a lot of people in the UK find Glasgow dialect difficult to understand. Oh, there you go. The Keyboard Chronicles. Huge respect to all parents who have children with this disability. Very well said, and thank you. Hike with Mike. Ever interviewed Warrant? Nope. I saw them at a local club in Florida when they were known as Dorian Gray. Alan Murphy. I love the Sass Jordan versus Alana Miles debate from back in the day. I liked Alana Miles' music more. I think I like Sass Jordan's voice more, though. Anthony Ferguson, do you see Ken Kelly passed away? John, the artist who painted Kiss, Love Gun, and Destroyer. Oh, I didn't know that. El Terrifico. Hi, El Terrifico. The box was great. Yeah. Closer Together was just like a basic sort of pop song. But if you listen to, listen, for anyone who can go on and let me check. Let me just check. I'll check if they're on Spotify. And if they are, listen, I warn you, they're very keyboard oriented and Jean-Marc has a French accent, but he sings in English. Let me look. You guys probably know this already. On the box. They're on here. Oh my God, they're so good. All their albums are on here. Their debut came out in 84. And then came All the Time, All the Time, All the Time. With the song that kind of sounds like a Vangelis song on there. You'll know the second. Go in all, I can't put it on or I'll get caught for copyright. And then Closer Together and The Pleasure and the Pain, I don't know as well. Man, check out the box. Like I said, their albums were so incredibly well produced. I just wish I could play you some, but I can't because I won't be able to monetize and I don't know. It's like sounding a little grumpy right now. What's going on? No, I'm just joking. Okay. Alan Murphy. Yeah, the box had great videos. Sue Bailey. It's in a Kroger grocery store in Blacksburg, Virginia. Fablic. Thanks, Mike. Darren says Brian Eno's Ambient 1 music for airports album would be helpful for passengers' delays in airports. It's very true. That stuff so influenced me for ambient music. Gennaro, wasn't Sass Jordan a judge on Canadian Idol? I think she was. I didn't watch Canadian Idol because of Ben Mulrooney. Yes, the son of a former prime minister. Listen, Ben Mulrooney did nothing to me. I'm sure he's the nicest guy in the world, but he's just one of those personalities that I could never watch. I didn't watch him on TV. I couldn't watch the guy. So he hosted Canadian Idol. So there you go. Al Terrifico, Sass Jordan was good friends with Taylor Hawkins. Yes, she was. Swede Savage, a worst band you ever saw live? Oh, God, I don't know. What's the worst band you guys have ever seen live? I don't remember seeing anybody that I really disliked. That's a good question. Bands that I didn't... There must have been opening bands that I didn't like. I'm trying to think. You guys, bands you didn't like, please. Seba Prince Feely. Good evening, John. How are you today? Well, I was saying I was a little tired, but I'm feeling better now. That's a good question, Sweet Savage. Worst band you ever saw live? What's the worst band you guys have ever seen live? Tebow 29. Why isn't Badfinger in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I don't know. They should be. They're going to lose everybody that should be on. They're going to be dead, and they should pay special attention to the people who are still alive. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's doing. When they did the Dolly Parton thing, I lost a lot of respect for them, and I already lost a. Listen, I understand now they can't go back. They're letting R&B artists in, and from a lot of different genres. And now they can't go back from that. They can't because it'll minimize what they've done before. So they've opened this Pandora's box of artists and genres who eventually influenced rock and roll. I understand that. Sure. Okay. But they're going to lose so many rockers who are... There's not going to be anybody performing on stage because they'll be dead. I hate to be blunt, but that's going to be the case. Catherine says, oh, hold on. James says, Badfinger should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I agree. Lee Child, worst band live? I wasn't into Blue Oyster Cult, but I went to see System of a Down. It was not my thing. It was worse. Catherine Stanley, I've never experienced a bad concert. The Dreamer's Life. Hi, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome. El Terrifico. Rumor has it that Ann Wilson got a flat tire in front of your house, but you weren't home. Oh, you come up with good stuff. For people who are just joining us, I was slated for an interview with Ann Wilson. Again, our channel is easily big enough to interview Ann Wilson. She deserves to be on this channel, but I was told I was in the lineup in the key to get an interview, but it never happened. And my concern, let's just say, beef, was she was being interviewed by people who were a lot smaller than us. But if she's doing it in order and saying, I don't care how big the channel is, I say, Ann Wilson, good for you, because everyone's got to start someplace. But so El Terrifico always comes up with great lines. Last time he said, we've got Ann Wilson on line 2. I love you, Ann Wilson. I love Ann Wilson. She's one of my favorite singers of all time. By the way, I'm interviewing Joseph Williams on Thursday, I think. Wednesday, Thursday. He's one of my favorite singers of all time. So, El Terrifico, you always put a smile on my face. I appreciate it. Where am I? James says 10cc should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't know if they'll ever get in. I hope so. They should. The Dreamer's Life. Happy birthday to me. Hey, happy birthday to you. Good for you. Hope you had a good day. Stefan, message retracted. Seba Prince Fili, John, on June 7th, it was Prince's 64th birthday. Yep. Michael, Journey in the days before Steve Perry. I didn't know them then. I have to admit, I never knew Journey till Steve Perry joined the group. Then I went back, of course. Gennaro, worst band I saw live? None. All were good. There you go. They got the Zombies. Yeah, Tebow, they got the Zombies in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Mohammed, hello guys. Hello, Mohammed. Sweet Savage, worst was Aerosmith in concert. Steven was a mess, ended the concert after 5 songs. Ooh. Lee Child, my buddy who went to Aerosmith back in the day said they sucked. Darren says, I saw Trooper live at my local fair in 2012. To me, they're known for their radio hits. I don't like the extended jams they tried to do. Now there's no original members. You're going to go see Trooper. You're not seeing Trooper. You're seeing guys with the troop who own the Trooper name. Because Smitty and Ray McGuire are gone. The last surviving members. Most important members, but yeah. Jeff Hansen saw Cheap Trick 6 years ago, and they were not good. Must have just been an off day. I hear they are great live. I've never seen them. Hike with Mike, as a heavy metal guy, saw lots of, what's that word? Protechnic, crazy, I don't know, pyrotechnic, crazy metal shows, but Huey Lewis and the News was the best concert. Oh, shoot. And I don't know how to read pyrotechnic. Rick May, worst band I saw with Captain Beefheart and the Magic Band. He opened for Jethro Tull while I was in college. Didn't know that much about him, but he grew on me as time went by. Well, there you go. Good for you. El Terrifico, put a smiley face. You got a good sense of humor, man. I appreciate you. Stefan. Sepultura, utter crap. And my girlfriend and I just rinsed it. Total rubbish. Sorry, I can't read tonight. Same thing happened last night. Tebow 29, Deep Purple are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The Dreamers' Life, thank you kindly. James Bashirs wasn't impressed with Steve Miller back in 77. Wow. Sad because he was all over the radio. Yeah, especially then. My God, man, it was 77. That was crazy, Steve Miller. Yeah. Good evening, John, from St. Thomas, Ontario, West Creek. West, where is that? Where I don't know. I'm not. When I used to syndicate radio shows in the 80s, I used to syndicate an adult contemporary show and then a rock version of the show across the country. So I got to know places in Canada that otherwise I might not have known. Now I'm a little bit bigger in geography. Back then I was not. So I don't know where that is. Siba, do you remember the 80s band duo Wax? Yeah, Andrew Gold and Graham Goldman. I've interviewed both of them. I talked to Andrew Gold about Wax with Graham Goldman, but when I talked to Graham Goldman, I never talked about Andrew Gold. I completely forgot. Crazy. And Andrew's dead now, of course. And I've got an interview with him, and one of these days I'll fix it. It's got so much phone hum on it. Stefan says, wow, Deep Purple aren't worthy. A Hike with Mike. Ian Hunter. Oh, you meant Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah, Hike with Mike. Ian Hunter, one of the most underrated rock musicians. I saw him in concert at the Rock Circus in Edmonton. Big outdoor show at Commonwealth Stadium. It was great. He was great. It really was good. Lee Child, what show live was better than you thought? The biggest one and the best performer I've ever seen was Iggy Pop. Iggy was just crazy. I couldn't believe how he was opening for the Pretenders, and I'm going, oh, mind you, I was, I think, first or second row, I forget. And I've told this story many times. I was with one of the rock writers for even one of the papers, the Edmonton Sun or the Edmonton Journal, and my friend Steve was with one of the writers from one of the papers. We weren't with them. They had extra tickets, and they asked us, and they knew us, so they asked us to go. And they were writing their reviews for their papers, and we were just enjoying it. Iggy Pop was crazy, crazy good. Best performer I've ever seen. Yes, it's really old. The interview was done. Oh man, I don't know when the interview was done. I have 4 interviews with Phone Hum. They're all dead. Ravi Shankar, Dave Brubeck, Dan Peek of formerly of America, and Andrew Gold. They all have severe hum on them. If you look up Ravi Shankar on this channel, look up Ravi Shankar Rock History Music. You'll hear me introducing the clip, and you'll notice right away the clip is hard to understand. So I put one clip on. I think he talks about George Harrison. There you go. At the end, Ravi Shankar blessed me. He said, "Bless you, John." I went, "Oh, wow, thank you. That's nice." And he talked about George Harrison a lot. Okay. It was done in Vancouver, so I moved out of Vancouver in 2002. So there you go. But it would have been done around then. I don't know. John Zeka, who's Bobby Kimball's producer, tried to fix it for me. He fixed it a little bit. Fab, hey John, do you think Bon Jovi are still worth the ticket? I've never been a big Bon Jovi fan, so I'm the worst guy to ask. Jeffrey, will Vince Neil finish the stadium tour? Oh God, I don't know. Hike with Mike, Pretenders rocked, great band. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Pretenders. I only bought their greatest hits. I wouldn't have gone to the show, but like I said, the rock writers for both papers were going together, and they had extra tickets, so we went with them. Oh, Alan says Deep Purple went into the hall in 2016. I don't even remember that, but I'm sure, yes. Lee Child saw Sade. It was pretty nice. Oh, cool. West Creek. David Bowie got to meet and greet him in London. Wow. Stefan. I love Herb Albert. Done some amazing stuff. Oh, yeah. Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass, co-owned A&M Records. Hike with Mike. Lee Child, Sade is awesome. James says, have you interviewed Glenn Hughes? Never have. Always thought I would. I probably will one of these days. Lorraine, did Michael McDonald have a stroke in 2014? I don't know. I've never heard that. Randy, I'll let you know he's performing with his wife, Lanny. Yeah, Lanny Hall from Sergio Mendes. Remember Fool on the Hill? Do. That was Lanny Hall on there. Well, she was one of the vocalists. Lee Child, blessed by Ravi, is a big deal. Wow. He was very, very kind. Very nice man. He talked about Norah Jones, by the way, because Norah Jones was breaking at that time. Yes. And he was very proud of her, even though he had not a great relationship with her. I guess they got close before Ravi died. I don't know if close would be the word, but he wasn't in her life. Darren says, thanks for the house tour last week. Yeah, we just went around and showed you my autographed albums. The only one on there that's I know is probably not real is Of All Things. I bought it on eBay or got it from I forget. Is Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Because it's just elongated, and someone said, oh yeah, he signed it after he got off the stage. And they say the same thing for Mick Fleetwood. And I went, that just looks like a mess. It doesn't look like a real autograph. Alan, why is your messages keep getting retracted? I don't understand why. West Creek, a Green Day American Idiot tour was great. Jane, hello from Costa Rica. Hey, did you ever interview Al Cooper? Never have. He's someone who should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Ace Larson, please pray for Ozzy. He's going to have major surgery on Monday. I didn't know that. Thank you. Hike with Mike. Ronnie James Dio, always a class act. Yes, of course he was. I'm not being sarcastic. Of course he was. Fab says, yeah, Glenn Hughes looks a very nice man. A great voice, too. Well, thanks for everyone. It's been an hour. Thanks for everyone who came on tonight. I appreciate it. I don't know. I'm sometimes I come on here. It's Friday night, and I'm really, really tired. Just to warn you, we're going on, it's not a warning, it's a good thing. Hit the like button. Thank you, Gennaro. We're about to go in deeper and harder than we ever have on this channel in the next few weeks and for the ongoing, for the next little while. We have a lot of interviews. We've been behind and we've told ourselves, I was talking to my son about this today. We took a trip to a place, a town near us called Shediac, which we love. We actually almost moved there at one point. And I was telling him, I said, we've got to pedal to the metal, man. We've got to get to 100,000 subscribers. We need to get there. It's a milestone. We will put the thing right there when we get the plaque. Don't count chickens, but hopefully I won't get hit by a bus. And we just want to sort of get there. So please, if you haven't subscribed and if you like our channel, check out our channel. Please subscribe. It means an awful lot to us. If you want to support our channel, buy a t-shirt. The links are on the bottom of every video. We'd appreciate that. Super chat us if you ever can. We'd appreciate that too. But, and our Patreon, my God, we're this close from releasing our Patreon subscription thing, whatever you want to call it. So we're really, really close, and nothing but success to you guys. We wish you well. Stay safe and have a really nice weekend. What a nice way for folks to sort of get ready for their weekend. New subscriber, thank you, Tracy. I appreciate that. Chauncey, hey, nice to have you on here. Thanks. Welcome back. Jeffrey, do you think Joan Jett, age 64, collecting her Social Security check? Now, we were just talking about that today. We were talking about finances today, and everyone wants to know, are we going to be okay? Because I don't plan on stopping this. I don't plan on stopping doing live videos. And when I'm 62, when I'm 65, I'm going to be way more discerning on who I interview. Not that I'm interviewing people I don't admire, but it's just I'm not going to do as many interviews. I guess that's what I'm going to say. So that's kind of the plan. We were looking, say, financially, we were going to be okay, for the 65, because you get your pension in Canada, you get 2 pensions, right? And it's so weird that we're getting a pension from Canada where the majority of the people who watch this channel are not in Canada. I think we have a 10% viewership. Ask me tomorrow, I'll say 15, I don't forget. I'll have to look at it. I haven't looked at it in a while. Everyone else is from outside of Canada. The bulk of it is from the US. Everything I've done online has always gotten a huge push. And thank you, love my American friends from the US, from the UK, always done really well. And we welcome anyone who just, wants to give us some support and talk about rock and roll, right? So it's always fun. I always look forward to doing this. Irene, thank you. Every single week, I look forward to doing this Friday Night Live. Sorry, Shannon, who wasn't on here tonight, but she's looking after Danica, who's having a really, really tough night. So Danica's in a day program now. She's autistic, and she used to go 3 days a week. Now she goes 5 days a week, and it's hard for her to transition to that because it's a change, and she doesn't like change. She doesn't like exercise. And when she was home, she used to do exercise for between half an hour and an hour a day. She hates it. But she'd rather do something she hates that she expects than something new. That's what autism's all about, right? I'm trying to get an interview with Burton Cummings right now, but his manager's not getting back to me. So maybe he's really busy. You never know what's going on with someone's life, right? You never, ever, ever, ever know. So, but anyway, everyone have a really nice weekend. It's going to be nice here in the East Coast, and I hope it's going to be nice where you're from. You're international, John Lee. Thank you. Take really good care of yourself. If news breaks, I'll be back on. I like doing the live things when news breaks. Unfortunately, lately it's been a lot of people who've been passing away. I got 29 8-tracks. Chauncey, wow. Oh, the Doobie Brothers book. I wasn't even aware of it. I didn't know there was a Doobie Brothers book. Did I? I stopped trying to get an interview with them. I haven't tried in a while, so I should. I know they're doing shows. Hike with Mike. I will be in the swamp this weekend. What the heck? Chase Tower. Thanks again. Well, thank you, Chase, for coming on. That's my son's name. Anyway, take good care of yourself, folks. I always have my thumb just sticking out. There's another guy who's always sticking his fingers on for his videos. I just think that's just Not cool. Anyway, take care of yourself, guys. Have a nice weekend.